All right, we're back at it. Get Warrior Tough. We're down to the last most monumental 15 minutes left in media. The hour has flown by. Dutch and Andrew, joined by Lieutenant Colonel John Folchetti. Hey, we were talking on the break about, one of the sections that the Colonel brought up in the book was called Avoid the Don'ts. And it says, if you realized how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought. Peace Pilgrim. And then I go on to talk about how I've really been paying attention to how I phrase things, and I found that more times than not, I phrase things negatively. For example, on the firing range, I would find myself saying, don't miss this shot, instead of saying, hit the target. And, we were raised like that, Skipper, since we were little, because our mom and dad would say, look both ways when you cross the street so you don't get hit. It was at the target, so what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I like that passage, and I think that it links to a couple of other passages that you have in the book. I was a rifle shooter all of my life, so the aim small, miss small thing,
yep.
Focus on the front sight, sight alignment, sight picture, was always something that I practiced and that I was good at. And then maybe in the last 10 or 15 years, I've picked up archery and making bows and that kind of thing. And I've missed so many deer because I forgot the aim small, miss small thing because nobody ever taught me. I had to teach myself how to do that with a pointed stick. And the don't miss thing, right, that you find yourself saying is something that I found myself doing repeatedly. And I've got to take the rifle creed back and apply it to archery, and it's made an enormous difference. And that don't fail statement really relates over to where you talk about being your own boss, right? And considering your boss as the client. Because when you think about as an employee, I've got to do this or I've got to do that, how do I treat people? You're really talking about a don't fail message or a don't fail mindset. I've got to do this for the boss and I can't jack it up. But when you relate that then to taking your boss as a client, then now you've elevated it to a different level and you've taken it out of the don't fail methodology and forced yourself to think about how to treat them differently. And this thing made the bosses as a client statement really made a hit for me because what it really made me realize is that I've got to treat my employees as clients. Right?
Wow, yeah, because you're a CEO.
I'm providing
right.
something to them.
Yeah, wow, that's huge.
Right, I'm providing something to them, and that's employment and a job. And it made me realize that I'd have done a lot better as an employer at retaining people if I had understood that concept. So that was an eye opener for me, and I think that it applies not only from the perspective of someone trying to rise up and get somewhere by recognizing that your boss is a client that you're providing a service to, but us as employers, right? For anybody who's listening out there who's an employer or a potential employer, if you treat your people as clients, you'll fare a lot better at retaining them than you will if you treat them as employees.
Wow.
I don't know what you think about that thought, but
that's huge, man. Yeah. Go ahead, Dutch.
No, I was going to say from the mindset of an employee that's trying not to fail because of what the employer is going to say or do to them is operating out of fear. When if you have the mindset that I'm providing a service, we operate much better when we take pride in what we do. When this is, if I'm giving you a product, if I look at what I'm doing as a product that I'm selling, then I'm spit shining that sucker. I'm cleaning up. It's going to look great. It's for all my reasons. It's because I'm taking pride in what I'm producing, not because I'm scared of what someone may or may not purchase. It's because before I put it on display, that sucker's looking good. So when I'm producing something for my boss, I'm trying to make it look great because it's of me. It's something that I'm producing, and someone's going to buy it. So I want it to look good. It's going to be shining. The wheels are going to be clean, and the rims are going to be, sparkling because I want someone to buy it. It's not because someone told me to do it. It's because this is a product of me. This is something I'm creating, and it's not out of fear that someone's going to fire me or come down on me because I didn't do what I was told to do. Everything that I touch and everything I do is my creation, and it needs to be treated as such. And I'm not operating in fear.
Wow.
And that takes you. I love that, Dutch. And that really takes you to a passage just a little further on in the book about owning yourself, right? Because everything that you produce is a reflection of who you are, and it's a reflection of what it is that you're capable of producing. So, really, if you can be your own boss and recognize that everybody is your client, you'll own yourself.
Right.
Absolutely.
And conversely, if you own yourself, then everybody will be your client, because what it is that you're producing, no matter what it is, whether you're producing widgets or you're producing gasoline at a pump, or whether you're producing books, or whether you're producing coaching classes, owning yourself then makes everybody else your client, and it makes your product as absolutely best as you can possibly make it before you're willing to put it up on a shelf.
Yeah.
And it'll be spit shine, and then you'll succeed.
Right.
And secondly, no one else owns you. You own yourself, so therefore no one else owns you.
Yeah, and that takes
That's
the
right.
fear. That
That's
takes the
right.
fear out of the equation, because now I'm not looking. I'm not looking for validation or acceptance from my boss because they're my client. What I want is their satisfaction, their customer satisfaction. And it sounds subtle, but it's so huge and empowering when I'm not operating out of that fear of not being validated. I have a section, I don't know if it's in the book or it's one of our coaching sections, but I talk about invalidation. Imagine instead of being the private that gets the smack on the back by General MacArthur and says, good job. Imagine while you're walking through life being General MacArthur, going and giving the validation instead of worrying about whether you get it or not from somebody else.
Well, you can, right? Even when you're the private that's getting a slap on the back, right? By being the guy who earns the slap on the back, you've owned yourself.
There you go.
Right?
Exactly.
You've demonstrated that what I did was the right thing.
That's so good.
Not the guy who got the slap in the face.
That was Patton. That was Patton. That wasn't MacArthur.
No, I know.
I'm just messing with you, man. I know. I'm just messing with you, Colonel. Wait, did you slap me in the face one time? I can't remember.
2 minutes.
No, I never need to slap the face. There's a time or two when I thought about it. But
no, you just have to look at me wrong. I would be like, oh my gosh. I mean, it would be the worst thing if you just looked at. You didn't even say anything. You just look at me. I'd be like, oh man. Yeah, one look from you and it'd be over.
You owned yourself and you knew you'd done it wrong.
Yeah, if I did. I made course corrections fast, though. I mean, really, I'm very coachable, and a lot of that is because of you, because it was easy to make course corrections, because you did it in a way that it gave me a way to make course corrections and still save face and kind of, keep my, I guess, that image in place. And we all have that image, we're all got to be tough guys in the Marine Corps because you can't be can't show weakness or whatever. But you gave us, and it wasn't just me, all your Marines, you gave them a way to make the course correction but still maintain face. So I appreciate that.
All right, Doc, look, the next time we do this, you got to keep him off this love fest thing. I tried to.
It's impossible, man. I have nothing but love and respect for you.
You can't keep going down this
No,
path.
I can't help it, dude. I really can't. And listen, I'm calling you dude. That's so funny. I should be dude. I'm giving myself push-ups right now. Yeah, I'm giving myself push-ups right now. I called the Colonel dude. Oh, man. It's all good. I know. Look, we're out of time, man. Thank you so much for joining us, on air. Thank you for investing in me for all these years. And, I honestly, seriously would not be anywhere, without the stuff that you put into me and invested into me. And so thank you.
Let me thank you, and let me thank Dutch for hosting a wonderful program and for treating me gently. I'm not very good at this kind of stuff about talking in public, but I enjoyed this enormously, and I'd welcome an opportunity to come back and talk to both of you.
Lieutenant Colonel John Folchetti, United States Marine Corps, retired. Thank you so much, Skipper. Dutch, I'll see you next week. The hour's gone. I'll see you in 4 days, and you will not fall asleep in the car on the way to Florida.
Thanks, gents. I'm going to go have a big glass of whiskey now. I appreciate it.